Hey friends, it's Jennifer. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back with another clothing tag or product tags that I have left over, and I'm going to try to transform these into something I can use in my projects. So, the first thing I'm going to do is get out my parchment paper and I'm going to lay it under here, under these tags, because I plan to use some paint to try to cover these up, possibly some gesso. We'll just kind of get into it and see what I'm going to use or what I'm going to need to use. But I'm going to start with paint. And I'm starting with this pretty teal color. And I know that paint will cover up the majority of this because I've used it in my altered playing cards for this year. I used a cereal box and paint will cover it up. It does take a couple of coats. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to use some different colors. Here I'm using some green. And I'm going to pick the side that's got the most writing or the most information on it to try to cover up first. And so I'm just going to use this green. It's a fairly dark color. And so I'm just going to use this green color. And I'm going to do this with the other two round tags as well. I'm going to pick um, a color and do those with. The circle tags do not have anything on the back. And here you can see that I put down quite a bit of paint on this tag. It was too much paint, and instead of wasting it or wiping it off, I'm just going to use it on this other tag as well. You'll see me use it on the other two tags because at this point I'm just covering, trying to get the tags covered. I'm not very interested in what color right now. So I'm just going to add this purple paint to the other tags just so that I don't waste it. I usually put the paint onto my paintbrush a little bit at a time, but I was watching TV and wasn't paying attention, so I just, instead of wasting it, I'm just going to add it here just for coverage. So that's what you're going to see me do here. And I'm going to dry these with my heat gun. You don't have to dry them with the heat gun. I just had mine here and I'm impatient and I wanted to get them done, so I'm drying them with my heat gun. Now I'm going to go back. You can see now I'm using the paint on my paintbrush, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to give everything another coat of paint in the color, in a different color this time, actually different colors. I'm going to use the purple for one, and then for this last one, you're going to see me use a dark blue color. A couple of these paints came from Hobby Lobby, but the other two, the purple and the dark green, came from Walmart. And you can use really any paint you have. I've used paints that are samples before. Um, like if you get samples for your house latex paint, I've used those on different things too. So really you can use anything that you have. And now I'm going back to the back side of these tags and I'm just picking colors to paint on them, not necessarily the same colors that were on the front. I am using the same color scheme that I used before, not different paints, but I'm just picking different colors for the backs of the tags because I want them to look good from the front and the back. And again, I'm going to dry that with my heat gun. And you can see they're covered up pretty good. Um, this green tag needs another paint, but these two round tags were covered up pretty good. So now I'm just going to go back with another coat of the green paint on this one and give it another coat of paint and dry that with my heat gun. And so this tag looks good now. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the second ply of a white napkin that I have used before on another project. This is the second ply of the napkin, and I always keep those because they're good for everything. If you need to soften something up and you don't want to use gesso or something, you can just use glue, and that's what I'm using here. And I'm taking this white napkin and I'm just gonna um, scrunch it up there, and I'm just going to lay it down here because it gives it some texture and it also softens up that color a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do for all of the tags on the front and the back of them. Just give them this coat of white napkin over top of them. And so you can see here that I've done that on most of the tags, this last one here. And I've just decided, instead of trying to cut and make it perfect, I'm going to overlap the napkin a little bit because it does give it more texture, which I really like. I'm a texture girl, so I love it. So I'm just going through here and layering it on there, layering it on the front, and then wrapping it to one side. Or as you can see here, I didn't tear it. I just sort of layered it on top of the other, which I wound up liking much better just because it gives it some extra texture. Okay, and so here they are, the tags. They're covered up pretty good. You can still see the paint through them, but they have that little bit of texture on there. And so I've just got some twine and some yarn pieces that I have, and I'm going to use those to wrap around the tags in a decorative way and just kind of try to tie a bow. In this first instance, I didn't leave enough on the ends. This twine was thicker, so I just wound up tying a knot, but I'm just going to wrap it around each tag several times and then cut the tails longer. And you can see that I'm going to try to wind my uh, twine pieces underneath to catch all of those. And I'm just going to tie a knot in this one. I tried to tie a bow, but I didn't leave enough space for that. And I just have my hot glue gun already handy. You can see this on the front and the back of the tag, and I'm just going to give it a little shot of hot glue underneath one section on each side just to hold it in place because I don't want the twine to accidentally come off the side and unravel the whole thing. So I'm just giving a little bit of hot glue. You can use regular glue. I just had my hot glue gun there, and that's what I decided to use because it was quick. And now I'm just going to trim these edges off, and I'm going to unwind the twine here. And I'm going to do this with the yarn as well on the other tags whenever I get them tied. But if you just twist it in your finger, you'll see the pieces that make up the rope of the twine, and the same with the yarn. And so I'm just pulling those apart just to make them look frayed and add a little bit of extra volume to the tag. And you can see how that turned out. And so now I'm going to do that with the rest of the pieces. I'm just going to take the yarn like I did in the first tag and just tie them around. And I'm going to leave enough to tie a bow on the rest of these. And I'm just fast forwarding the clip here so that you can see how I do all of them, but it's the same process as I did the first one. And now I've also gone back and cut pieces to put in the top to tie the tags. And now here I'm just pulling out my bag of ephemera. These are pieces that I have made. I've either stamped and cut out or printed on my printer and cut out. I just have a bag full of tea-dyed stamp stuff. I really need to organize them better, but who has time for that when you're crafting? Nobody has time for that. So anyway, I'm just grabbing up some little pieces that I like. I'm going to grab up some for the front and the backs of the tags because I want them to look good from both sides, just in case I decide to use them in other ways. So you can just see me here picking out some pieces, and I'm going to use those on the tags. And so now once I've done that, I'm going to take a combination of school glue and hot glue to glue these pieces down. I'm using hot glue on the backs because it's the twine, and you can use regular glue, but it would take a lot and it would take time for that to get adhered really well to that. So I am using hot glue for the backs of those and some of these other pieces. And I'm just going through here, and the ones that aren't inked, some of them are inked, but some of them aren't. So I'm just inking them and getting them glued down in place. And now I'm just going to ink around the entire card on both sides, just to make sure that that ink's showing. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to unwind the top pieces that I put through the hole of the tag up top, just to kind of make it match better with the others. And here are the completed tags. I really love how these turned out. I'm excited to use these in different projects, maybe on the covers of journals, or maybe as gifts to put on presents for people. You could add a little tag with their name on there. So I'm very excited about how these turned out, and they were used from clothing tags. I think all of these were clothing tags that I used that I had from packaging. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Hopefully you'll take some inspiration from this to make your own things at home and love what you do. So thanks for watching. Bye.